Excellent. Welcome to
Episode
uh,
9.43298 of the podcast that we still haven't named.
today is the Kingly Marvelous Awards, Game Awards. Did you watch the Game Awards by any chance?
Dude, I was on a plane.
Okay, fine, whatever. It sucked. Anyway, we're gonna do our own Game Awards here.
I mean, don't all the game award stuff sucks? Like, even movie awards sucks. They're always just cringy.
Okay, but at least in movie awards, when you win an award, you can come up on stage and you get congratulated. In the Game Awards, they literally say a winner and then they go straight to the next award. It was like, best music. All right, great. Best voice actor. All right, great. Best actor. All right, great. Here's some. Here's Green Day. Oh, here's the new Xbox Series X. Oh, okay, dude. Like, fucking, can't we just celebrate the games instead of just bringing out a load of new? This is the celebration of it. It's not like you go to the Oscars and they suddenly got trailers for the next Marvel film. Like, god damn.
I mean,
Anyway,
the next Marvel film is already released. It's Black Widow.
yeah, like, I'm done. Let's talk about video games, shall we? Because that's
Alright.
what we're.
Yeah, because, we're totally good at staying on topic.
Of course. So yeah, we're going to talk about some of our favorite video games and some
Some
video
of
games
the
that
Yeah, the
disappointed us.
worst. Yeah.
I want to start off with
Your favorite. Give
my
us your
favorite,
favorite. Yeah.
my favorite video game. So there was two contenders really. I don't really play many new video games. If you hadn't noticed, but there
No.
was two. Okay, two, one, obviously, but there were two contenders, and it was Devil May Cry 5
Okay.
and Bloodstained. Ritual of the Night, the new one that's come out. And ultimately, the reason why one of them won is because I immediately went to replay it again. You could probably guess which one it is.
Devil May Cry?
No, it was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I was playing it today, man. Come on.
Oh, wait. I thought you were playing Castlevania today.
It's Jesus Christ. You're funny. You're funny. You know that. Yes, it is it's a Metroidvania type game. If you don't know what that is, then
It's just a really weird game or way to say games.
it's a type of game. It's basically where you've given a map and you can certain areas are blocked off and you need to get certain skills to unlock those areas, and also there's like a little RPG mechanic where you can get new items and level up and stuff like that. Yeah, so I beat it and I immediately replayed it, and this is now like my third playthrough that I started on the Xbox. Devil May Cry 5, fantastic. This is how you make a sequel, guys. This is how you make an end of an era sequel that is basically a love letter to the whole franchise, Kingdom Hearts. This is how you make an end of it. This is how you end the story, Kingdom Hearts. It's just alluding to something here. Kingdom Hearts, you've got classic boss battles. You've got boss battles that weren't so good in the original games, redone much better. Mainly the Kronos fight. You've got all the classic fighting styles of the weapons, and you get some new characters as well. And it's basically like, hey, DMC, fine. You remember how much you love these games? Yeah, well, here it is. Kingdom Hearts 3.
I feel like you're trying to allude to something here or something.
So let's start off with the year's beginning, shall we? It's January. I've been playing the whole Kingdom Hearts franchise since the beginning, starting November all the way through to December and through January. So I was fully prepared for the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, which was going to be the end of the Xehanort saga. And I played it.
They didn't even really end it. Like it
the overall story hasn't ended, but they ended the Xehanort saga. That saga is over.
Okay.
Spoiler warning.
Okay, we'll just do this. All right, this whole video is gonna be pretty much a one big spoiler warning because we're probably gonna get into
mainly for Kingdom Hearts 3 because like DMC 5 I didn't have to spoil. Right, so I think I was enjoying it. I was having fun. There were minor things in the back of my mind, like this story seems rushed. There's like you got Sora's on his world quest, and the worlds are kind of like okay, I guess they're fine.
The
But then
worlds
you got
almost kind of felt the same a
yeah,
lot of the time. Like that,
especially I feel like Tangled and the Frozen world was like the
really,
Frozen world
Frozen
was the
World was the
worst.
worst. Yeah.
That is the worst world. Okay, the the second worst world in the whole Kingdom Hearts franchise. The first being the Little Mermaid, the musical world. Like, God, that's not even a world. It's you have to play a musical number.
Which one was that in?
It's in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's the Little Mermaid where you have to do like Under the Sea and like some other songs that they just made up on the spot. And you
Oh
can't beat it in
yeah.
one go. You have to get new abilities as you progress through the game and go back to it. But with the Frozen world, it's literally go up a mountain, go down a mountain, go up a mountain, go down a mountain, and halfway through there's like a ice castle for reasons. That was I don't even fucking know. And then the final boss for it just comes out
appeared.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It was horrible.
if you know the film, it makes sense. But if you didn't know the film, you're like, well, who the fuck is that? Why is he full of darkness? What the fuck? Wouldn't be Elsa be full of darkness? Like her turning heartless and then saving her would make more sense than this fucking guy. But no, there's some random dude turns into a really cool looking wolf, but it's like, how did we get here? Why did we get here? I've just come down the mountain for like the 6th time.
I don't know where I've been.
Fuck knows. And then they're like niggles in the back of your mind as you're playing this, okay? And then it finally gets to the last world, then the last world, and then the last bit, and you finally beat Xehanort. You're like, why did he do this? Why did he? Why? What was his plan all along? And it was to reset the worlds. He wanted to get rid of the darkness in all the worlds by destroying all the worlds and resetting it. And
yeah, there was so many holes in that story, and just like, where were the original, like, some of the original worlds? Where was Alice in Wonderland? Where was, I think we were in Traverse Town, but in a small part of it.
They kind of explain it in Kingdom Hearts 2, like throughout that whole game, or like in Kingdom Hearts 1, why didn't certain worlds return in Kingdom Hearts 2? It's because they've been sealed off again. So only worlds that haven't been sealed off are connected and you can travel to them. But there's a lot.
Yeah, there's so many worlds, like.
But the whole idea that Xehanort did all of this bullshit was because I wanted to get. I was actually a good guy all along, kind of, but not really.
And that final boss battle was ridiculous.
It was so boring as well. And then Mark Hamill appeals. And it's like, oh, hey, Mark Hamill. You're popular, I guess. And also, okay, so as we know, Leonard Nimoy did the voice of Xehanort in Birth by Sleep and a couple of others.
I don't know who that
but unfortunately, he passed before Kingdom Hearts 3. So, for some reason, they just got someone to go a completely different direction in his voice. Just like you got Leonard Nimoy over here, and then you got new Xehanort voice actor over here, and he's just like, oh yeah, don't even bother with that. Fuck it. Yeah, don't try and impersonate Leonard Nimoy. Even though they did it for Yen Sid.
Yeah.
And they did it for Ansem the Wise, because as we know, Christopher Lee passed away.
I was going to say,
they got the voice actor for Yen Sid to do Christopher Lee, because he does the voice of Count Dooku in Star Wars Clone Wars as well.
Yeah.
So he was just doing his Star Wars voice, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I don't know. I guess if you're going into Kingdom Hearts 3 as just a pure gameplay, it wasn't bad.
Oh no, you'll be fine. But
if you go into when you go into it with just that whole, I want to actually.
I want a conclusion.
Yeah, it was very lacking.
You've got to imagine that this is a conclusion from our childhood, like from the PlayStation 2 era.
Oh my god, I played so much of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 that it's unreal.
I'm sorry, like Kingdom Hearts 2 is still like the best Kingdom Hearts game ever made.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
by far, like Birth by Sleep, it's good, but it's so repetitive that you get bored quite quickly. Kingdom Hearts 2 is just masterpiece.
I still remember working for hours on end trying to beat the Sephiroth battle in Kingdom
Oh
Hearts
god!
2.
And then you see someone play it with they use the honey keyblade, like the weakest keyblade, and they beat his ass, and you're just like, okay, I suck at Kingdom Hearts, I guess. Fuck
Yeah.
this.
But
But
anyway, you've been on Kingdom Hearts 3 for about 10 minutes now,
yeah,
so
I'm sorry, it was just so annoying. All right, what's your favorite game of the year then? Stop.
mine it was a tie between Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled Revamp or redone or
Yep.
Borderlands 3.
Now, Crash Team Racing. Just gonna talk about this. This is. I was gonna say originally, this is how you redo a game.
Yeah, it was
This is how you redo
fantastically
it.
redone.
Except they threw in microtransactions 2 months after the game was released.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if it wasn't getting as much traction as they were hoping, I guess using microtransaction was a way for them to try to get a little bit more.
No, this is active. I'm sorry, they did this with Black Ops 4, where they released the game without the microtransactions, so everybody would review it and be positive and be like, "Oh, hey, there's no microtransactions in this game." And as soon as all the reviews were done and the cloud has settled, they immediately just throw in microtransactions. This is how Activision works. So
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't play Black Ops, or I didn't play Black Ops 4, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following them, and that's how they did it. So I was immediately like, no.
Yeah,
No.
but overall, like, the game itself, they implemented the online beautifully. It was
and you got
smooth.
local multiplayer as well.
The story feels exactly the same.
It is the exact. I will say though that some of the new tracks they created for the game,
they're a little iffy, but some of
they
the tracks
don't
are
have
really good.
They don't have like the spirit that the original tracks had. Like they're clearly an afterthought, kind of like, okay, we need to make some new tracks. So
yeah,
they're really long and winded and overly complicated, and you're just like, no, you don't.
Yeah, but
But
some of the new ones were still really good though.
I'm good, not really good, like decent. Like
I like them.
if you told me they were in the original game, I would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, Borderlands 3 was up there for me, but I think Crash Team Racing takes the cake for me because Borderlands 3, while it was good and you got to go to space and everything, the story for it kind of felt really, I don't know, it failed to capture me like the first and second one did.
I still haven't bought it. That's how, like, I was.
Like it's a good game, but I haven't even. I can say this: the story it was so bland for me that I haven't had a pull to go back and return to finish the game.
I feel like that's the problem with a lot of games nowadays. Is that they're just trying to go for a big spectacle, but they're forgetting about the story. Pardon me.
Oh well, way to burp in everybody's ears.
Wow,
God.
that's great. They're forgetting about the story. It's
but,
like that's why I love DMC5 because it's the classic Devil May Cry story to a T. And
I will say the best story of this year, and I didn't even play the game. I just saw it and I know the story. Death Stranding.
I have not seen the story. All I know is you're an Amazon delivery guy.
Yeah, like gameplay wise, it's literally just delivering
I feel like
stuff.
when it's a Kojima game, the gameplay is okay. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Metal Gear Solid franchise to death, but there was cool gameplay in that. It's literally, I remember playing Metal Gear Solid 4, and it's like 5 minutes of gameplay, and then it's like an hour-long cutscene.
Yeah, well, I mean,
4 hours.
Death Stranding was mostly just storytelling, and I later learned that Kojima made the game specifically for himself, and he was like, you know what, I'll just release it for everybody, but it's a game that he wanted
after his departure from Konami.
Yeah, and The story for it, you know, as we said, spoiler alert. The story
Oh
is.
well. Okay. I'm just gonna mute me.
Oh, you don't want to
Oh
hear it? I won't go into it then. Fine, I'll shut up.
God, but like,
It,
if only my
it's.
PlayStation 5 wasn't broken, I could probably play it. But
You
yeah,
mean 4?
yeah, that's what I meant for.
Smooth.
Unless we're in the future right now, then in which case, yeah, I got a PlayStation 5 early.
Biggest flop of a game? Anthem.
Oh,
That
oh
game
yeah.
flopped so hard. It was literally just a remake of
It,
Destiny. It was hyped
that
up for so long,
that
and
was
then
Death Stranding. That was
yeah,
Death on Arrival. Jesus.
like what? It was out for 2 months, and then they shut down the servers for the entire game.
Yeah, they just completely fucked it, didn't they? They
It was
literally.
so bad. I remember Mixer tried 3 different times to give me a code so that I could play Anthem for them and review the game and stuff like that. And all 3 times the servers would not let me on. I tried for like 45 minutes each time
Oh,
to try to get
oh,
in. I was like,
oh.
nope.
Okay. You know what? There's another big flop in gaming this year.
Oh,
Stadia.
Google Stadia?
Yeah.
I
Talk
don't know
about
much
not being able
about
to.
it.
Okay, so like you were saying, um, so when you pre-ordered Stadia, you and when you got the Founders Edition, you would basically get a controller and a Chromecast, right?
Okay.
When people tried to log in to play the games, they couldn't log in. Then it turns out that they were promising 4K resolution if you pay for this premium service. You have to pay for the service plus pay for the games at full retail price, and they're not true 4K. Like if you're running on a computer or your own hardware, it's a higher resolution.
Well, that's dumb.
Google Stadia. Also, the Chromecast kept overheating and was causing massive problems. To way to fix it, you had to put on your own thermal heatsink. So,
Hmm.
you know, zero latency, tons of latency. True 4K. No, just get a console, guys. Just own a console. Own your stuff.
I like what they were trying for, but they definitely fell short then.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I like the attempts at the play anywhere, play on anything sort of deal, but
I think the idea is that you have to make your games cheaper because technically we do not own them anymore.
yeah.
If it was
Um
something similar to Game Pass, I think people would be a lot happier with.
yeah, definitely.
Like you pay, but it isn't Game Pass, which is a big win this year because Game Pass is amazing.
Yeah. Game Pass is really up their game for Xbox.
I mean, like, sorry, PlayStation, you got to do something better now.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Worst game for me that I actually got to play. Biggest flop game wise was Anthem, but worst game for me that I actually got to play was Wolfenstein Youngbloods.
Oh God! Oh, I completely forgot I even played that. I won a code off of you. I think it was.
Yeah, you won the code.
Oh,
And
you dick! Why would you make me play that? Oh,
the gameplay itself, like the actual gameplay,
it's fine.
was fine. The story was so horrible
Oh
and
God.
so cringy that it was unreal. Like I played it on PC, and my PC is super high powered. Well, not super
All
high powered, but it's high powered.
hang on. It was super high powered like 3 years ago.
Okay,
2 years ago.
I'm still high powered in regards to this day and
You
age
can
of
run a
technology.
decent game at 1080p,
I can
high
run.
definition, at a decent frame rate. Very
I
decent.
I can run and stream any game still at ultra settings, 1080p, 60 FPS.
Yeah.
And I had more problems with that game. Like I have my full playthrough with Law. We did it duos throughout the entire game on YouTube. You can go look. There's one where I literally broke the game so bad that I was stuck on the ground, unable to do anything, and I crawled to the opposite side of the map from Law, and there was nobody spawning.
Jesus.
Then
Connor.
it locked up. I couldn't do anything on my entire computer because it locked up my whole computer. I had to restart everything. And mind you, I was midstream with this nonsense. Like, it was horrible.
Okay. I think it's time to talk about my biggest disappointment of the year, and it's not Kingdom Hearts 3. I know, surprise there, because all being said and done, they are releasing a DLC that's probably going to fix a load of my issues. You remember, what was it, Call of Cthulhu?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you remember that one?
Oh, that was cringy.
Okay, so and once again, I'm a bit of a fanboy of Lovecraftian stuff.
It was supposed to be horror, and it wasn't even like it had its moments, but it wasn't even scary most of the time.
The problem is it's like, okay, so when the story of Call of Cthulhu was written, okay, it was a very different time. It was a very much more racist time, which was the undertones of like people being disformed was, oh my god, this is the most horrific thing we've ever seen. Problem is, with modern society, we couldn't give two shits. Like it doesn't reflect modern society, and the whole it doesn't capture the essence of Lovecraft, which is the more you know, the more you see, and the more disturbed and insane you get. The only game that has ever been able to capture the true essence of Lovecraftian horror is Bloodborne. Nothing. This game didn't even come close. This game was basically like, do you want a shittier version of Call of Cthulhu, the novel? Yeah, sure. Here you go. Here's a coal, I guess.
I've never played Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. One day it is fantastic. Okay, so in Bloodborne there's the whole insanity mechanic, where the more
like
insight
Amnesia?
you get, the more insight you get, the more you start seeing things in the world around you. Like, it starts off as a gothic horror game, yeah. It's like, imagine Dark Souls but with gothic horror.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then.
It's made by the same people. So you're going through this gothic horror, but all of a sudden you get picked up by something out of nowhere, and it just throws you, and you die, and you're like, what the fuck? What's going on? Then you start collecting this insight, and all of a sudden the world around you starts slowly changing, and you realize, oh shit, son, elder gods are everywhere, oh god. And the problem is, the more insight you get, the more damage you will take, because you're just completely going insane, and it's fantastic.
It kind of sounds like my favorite horror game of the year, and it's only a chapter of the game, Visage Chapter 2.
But it's an action game, and it's
yeah. Visage is full blown, like, you know, environmental horror. But the more you progress, the more you do stuff, the more your character just goes insane. And Chapter 2, by the end of it, was crazy. You were walking in an area where, like, there was staircases running everywhere, and you could just fall straight down to your death. And like, you got to the point where, I mean, I was questioning my own sanity at one point. It was that bad. Like, they did amazing. And the best part is, it's indie. Sad Square Studios is like maybe 3-4 people. So it's an indie company who made this, and so far, Visage Chapter 1 released last year, and
okay, so it doesn't count as the game of the year for this year.
Chapter 2 was released this year.
I mean, we're talking about Bloodborne, and I don't think it was a great year for video games.
It really wasn't. A lot of the video games tried to sequel themselves, and the sequels just weren't what people were hoping for.
I mean, I enjoyed the Final Fantasy VIII remaster, not remake, remaster, which basically updated the models, graphics, and gave you some like good features. But like, that's just the remaster. It's the exact same game, just with better models. And then Pokemon Sword was, oh god, Pokemon.
See, I don't have a PlayStation 4 or a Nintendo Switch, so I wasn't able to play those.
So I have some problems with Pokemon. There's some good choices. Like, some people are going to get annoyed by the removal of, you no longer need to have HM slaves. And what HM slaves are is, in the older games, in order to progress to certain areas, you would need certain abilities. This game is basically like, nah, you don't need to do that no more. Which is fine, because you basically use a team that you want to use. It's great.
Which makes sense.
It makes sense, but then there's like some other choices which makes it a lot easier, where everybody gets EXP share no matter what. So before, if you wanted to level up a Pokemon, you would probably fight it against a stronger Pokemon, but switch out your main Pokemon to fight it. Then in later games, there was an item called EXP Share, which you would equip to a Pokemon, and it would gain experience even though it didn't need to battle. In this game, it's like, no, everybody gets it, and then everybody gets XP when you capture a Pokemon, which I was like, that's fine, that makes sense, because technically you're in a battle, so it doesn't really matter. But in this game, they create the wild area, which is like a massive area, in air quotations, because you can't see this, but the audience care, a massive area, which is basically like 6 routes rolled into one, which
Ew,
makes
really?
the game feel which makes the game feel even smaller because there's like 10 routes and that's it. And it's like, oh, I'm at the end already. And then I really have a problem with the storytelling in Pokemon games nowadays. I know it's amazing that I have a problem with storytelling in Pokemon games, but the original game, your rival was an a-hole, right? It felt good to beat him because he was like, haha, smell you later. You're like, I just kicked your ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember
There was
that.
like an actual rivalry. In this, your rival is basically your best friend. It's not even a rival. Like
Ugh.
in the Pokemon games now, being a rival means you're more than family. It's like a deeper bond. Literally, like the champion is your rival's brother, and he's like, I don't see you as my brother anymore. I see you as my rival. And you're like, what rival means? Just okay.
Is it on
Fine.
that whole nonsense that like everybody's a winner sort of deal like that?
Yeah, they kind of admit like you kicked his ass, and it's there's like one guy who feels like your classic rival who's just basically a dick throughout the whole game, and he ends up becoming the fairy gym leader, even though he doesn't want to. And I was like, that's good. But villains are so boring. There's 2 of them. Spoiler alert: the first villain is like, oh look, it's the chairman who wants to solve a world energy crisis 1,000 years in the future, but he wants to solve it now. And like the whole game is basically saying how stupid this is to solve it now when it's only 1,000 years in the future. And so he's like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, guys. And then you meet the second villains who are basically like, we're dicks. And then you beat them and you're like, we were dicks. What happened to gangsters and gambling and cutting off Slowpoke's tails, guys? What happened to world organizations trying to take over the world? Now we just have...
Did they even have Team Rocket?
No, they have their version of Team Rocket was Team Yell, who were basically like meant to be like football fans, but they weren't really bad guys. They just kind of at one point they're trying to keep a snake asleep because it was resting, and that was it. And you beat them so you could pass, and then the snake waked up anyway. And there's a bit where it tries to cheer on a turtle because they're like, "Yeah, go turtle." They're not even villains. They were like trying to help out another gym trainer, and then they end up helping you.
In other words, Pokemon went with that whole, oh my god, as soon as we do one thing, it's gonna offend somebody, so let's just play the safest route possible.
Oh, it played oh god, it's just so bad. I remember, alright, so the rival in the first game was a dick, okay? In the second game, your rival is the son of Team Rocket, and he's going through a redemption arc, basically. He feels his father's guilt, like the whole world hates Team Rocket, and they're trying to make a comeback, and he wants to stop them. That's a good character right there.
Yeah,
How the
definitely.
hell have you gone from wants to stop his father from trying to take over the world again to my brother's the champion? I really like you.
We're not brothers anymore. We're rivals. High five. Also, we've been going on about this for a half an hour now. You know.
I know, but I just gotta say. But you remember in the old games where you would pick a Pokemon and your rival would pick the type advantage, yeah?
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. They pick the type weakness to you. So every time you fight him, you know his strongest Pokemon is weak against your strongest Pokemon. It's like, it's not even a chat. Why? That was like the only challenging thing was like, okay, I know my rival has my type advantage, so I can't use it again. Nah, don't.
Oi, yeah. Well, if people couldn't tell, we're really
Well,
passionate about stories and making sure that the actual game mechanics and the
I feel like the
stories of
best story of
games.
this year was for me Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, like game mechanics and stories are huge, and a lot of game companies have been lacking massively on it. It's been really sad to see how much they've been lacking on it. I mean, the games of this year kind of feel like they were rushed and pushed out just to get money, and they were cash
Yes.
grabs instead of passion.
Action. Yeah. Except for the games that we like to mention, we don't feel like they're cash grabs. We feel like they
I
actually.
mean, there are some games that we didn't mention that definitely were not cash grabs by any means, but like
We're talking like the vast majority of stuff that's getting pushed out.
Modern
It's
Warfare, Wolfenstein Youngbloods,
oh
Apex
god.
Legends,
Ah.
Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, a lot of these things were massive cash grabs. Like, and
Why did they release it on the Xbox? It's like nobody on the Xbox. Like I know they had it on different platforms throughout the years, but it's mainly been PlayStation and Nintendo. It's been on, right?
I have a feeling you're
And then
talking
suddenly
about
introduced it into
Kingdom.
Xbox, and they had to go.
I have a feeling you're
Well,
talking
nobody
about
on the
Kingdom
Xbox
Hearts
is actually going to
3.
know the background story, so we're going to have to simplify this game.
It's definitely Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh god, why?
Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching the Game Awards, brought to you by these two idiots.
Yeah, go visit our merch stores and support
Buy,
us on Patreons.
yeah, buy our merch, because if you don't, Jarv will fart, and he levels Parliament with his farts.
Ow.
Okay, bye!
Like and subscribe.